I want to be the most hated person in boxing. And I loved that. I enjoyed that. I loved it. When I left, what did I do? Oh, Derek Chisora. But you say something.
To you.
No, you did not. You said
Yes,
it on
I
radio.
did.
This is why me and you didn't really get along, because you said it behind my back.
Never did, and you know I didn't. He got knocked down on his
Because he's not
bottom.
here to defend himself, so I have to defend him.
Because he won't come and talk to me about it because he's not brave enough to do it.
Because you know you're
What?
I'm sorry to say you're a douchebag. You know that, but you know sometimes you just it's why you putting it like that. Why can't you just say you got knocked down?
This is Up Front with me, Simon Jordan. I believe there are a lot of vacuous, uninformed, unchallenged opinions out there. I want to get to the bottom line and cut through the nonsense. So with this podcast with William Hill, I'm going to get people with strong views who think they can stand them up to proper scrutiny. There's a good chance I might learn something along the way, and more importantly, so might you. Joining me in today's episode is a heavyweight boxer who has the unique perspective of fighting the lot, from Fury to Klitschko to Usyk. A British champion, loved by many, for bringing the war. He is one of the most popular UK heavyweights from this modern era. Derek Chisora, welcome to Up Front.
Up front, how are you?
I'm well. I'm hoping to be financially remunerated.
Yeah.
Do you have my money for our bet that you've stealthily avoided for the last year?
How much are you? 500?
The answer is no, then, isn't it?
It's 500.
No, I'll take a 500, but it's only 100 quid.
It's 100.
Yes.
I did promise you 100 in
Yes,
pennies.
yes.
Did I not?
Well, doesn't matter.
If, you know,
I'm
if
getting old. I was clean shaven when I put the bet in
you know
place.
what? It's my fault. I totally forgot, and I
Yes,
apologize,
yes,
and I'll
yes,
sort it
yes.
out for you.
Okay, right. That means I'll never get it. Right.
No, you get it.
Okay,
somehow.
good. Right, now, on with this. Now, if you don't like anything, I don't want any tables being thrown or anything like that, and I don't want any impatience because you're getting
You
bored.
got smaller tables, that's why.
Right.
So I want for a smaller table.
Look, Derek, the way we start these, or the way I start these conversations, specifically with fighting men and fighters, which is a huge level of interest for me. A lot of the shows that we've done have been footballers, but a lot of them have been boxers, is because I want to understand what got you into the position. What was the journey? Why did you become a fighter? What were your characteristics? What was your background? So the first question, and it's framed in this sort of moniker, is what is your why? And that means, how did you get to be a fighter? What was your background? What did you do? What made you be sat here with me now talking about your achievements?
I came here in the millennium of 2000.
Yep.
Yeah. And then when I came
To England,
United Kingdom.
from Zimbabwe.
Yeah, from Zimbabwe. And then living Cricklewood in Claremont with my mother.
Northwest London.
Northwest London, you know. And at the same time, it was more like skinheads who were around, you know.
Right.
Yeah. And I got into a massive fight and I got arrested.
Okay. How old were you then? 15?
I'm 16.
16.
I was still 16.
Yeah.
And then I was on probation. I was meant to do 3 years in prison. I was on probation. And
You had a parole officer, yeah?
Yeah. And then I met a guy called Peter Yates. He was my probation officer.
Right.
Yeah. And then he introduced me to John and Jim Oliver.
Okay.
Yeah. And then that's when the whole boxing started.
And who were they?
That was John was my trainer, and
Right.
Jim was his brother. That's Spencer. That's Oliver's dad.
Spencer Oliver's dad, is it?
No, Spencer
of
Oliver's
course,
dad,
yeah, of course.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that's
'cause
the whole
Spencer's told me
family in
that.
Barnet.
Yeah,
In Barnet,
yeah,
you know.
of course.
So that was it. That's where it started, basically.
So that was because somebody introduced you to someone to get you away from a direction that you might have been going in.
No, I just cut it short. Basically, I was getting arrested, mate, loads of times.
Yeah.
You understand? And then the judge was like, "Listen, I'm gonna put you in jail. I'm gonna put you in jail."
Yeah.
And then suddenly, I ended up doing probation, and then probation actually saved me by the British. My probation officer got me funded to be a boxer. They were paying for my travel fees, my
But why
bus fare.
boxing, Derek? Why was boxing the opportunity? Is it because you were a big, strong lad and they saw something in you? Was it because it would give you discipline and some structure in your life? What was the reason that you ended up going into boxing?
I could not play tennis. I could not be a
Right.
jockey.
Right,
Do you understand? I could not play football.
right.
Actually, I did play football. At one point, I had trials. I think I was there for Arsenal, and then something happened anyway. I could not do
That
so
sounds
many.
like a big fish story, by the way.
Do you think so?
Yeah. You had trials for Arsenal,
Yeah,
did you?
yeah.
What position did you play?
Goalkeeper. I was a badass, bro.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Well, you think I'm?
It sounds like a big fish story because I
No,
haven't
it's-
heard it before, but it might well be
no.
true. So you were a
Yeah.
goalkeeper,
I was a goalkeeper.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
But football wasn't for you, but
Football
boxing
was not for me.
Right.
Boxing was not even for me. This is what I'm
Right.
trying to explain to you. Boxing was not for me. Did so many things. I used to go out a lot, you know.
Yeah.
And then I think what when the penny dropped, yeah, got honest truth, went to some house party, me and my friends, and then this guy came out to the house party, shot up the whole house party, and we ran out for the back. And I said, you know what, from today I'm gonna
Not for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna concentrate on boxing.
Yeah. But
And then from then that was it.
But the point I'm trying to get to, and I'm maybe not phrasing it the right way, is for you guys to go into a gym. When I was talking to Bellew, or when I'm talking to Carl Froch, or when I'm talking to Johnny Nelson, or whoever else might have been here, Ricky Hatton has done, because it all comes from a position of some sort of motivation. Ricky's was the fact he was getting bashed up by some kid, and his dad went and took him down to the gym and said, bashed his kid up as a result of it. Johnny Nelson's come from a different position of trying to achieve things in life. Billy Joe Saunders was because he believed he was the best thing since sliced bread and he could win everything, and as a result of it, that was his belief system. Carl Froch, when he went into boxing, was desperate to be something of value, and used to find himself very nervous and intimidated by circumstances. From Bellew came from a position of, I didn't have the things in life that I wanted. I didn't have the background. We weren't a very wealthy family. We were struggling with our lives, and it was a way out for me, and it was an opportunity for me. And also from a position of anger, and because you're going into a hurt business. Any of that resonate with you, or is it just it happened that way and I drifted into?
Do you want the honest truth?
No, I want you to tell me a fib. No, of course I want you to tell me the honest truth.
I think my drive comes from people like yourself.
Tell me.
Yeah, because when negative drives me a lot, I had a guy in the amateur gym. He said to me, "You will never sell out a phone box. You could never be anything in boxing." And since he said those words to me, that's always been my drive.
Right. So now I'm going to pick you up on what you just said. People like me. Why are you saying people like me?
Because you always have negative to say about certain people like myself. Like,
do you think so?
Yeah, because when we're trying to make something ourselves, you come out with criticize, you say bad things, you put people like me down, it's like, it's never a situation like you would come out and say a great thing. Oh, that was a great fight, round this was amazing. But it's always negative, but which is great because negative for me drives me a lot. Inspires me a lot.
Is negativity or fair criticism two different things?
It depends how you put it. Because you put it, you like to put it. It depends how you put it in, mate. If you put on, great show, but I was not really happy with the fight because of this and this. But sometimes you have to go in and in and in and in and in and in to make the other guy feel so bad. So that's what drives me a lot, because I remember, there's so many things I'm like, yeah.
So the negativity, okay, put me to one side, right, and we'll deal with me later on.
I'm not pointing at you.
I'm taking me out of the conversation and talking about the negativity that you experienced that ultimately inspired you to want to go and achieve things.
Okay.
So you come into this country.
Okay, let me explain something to you.
Go.
Okay, I won the 4 Nations. And the head of England, Tim, calls me up in his office. Yeah, after we're in Dublin, in his hotel.
Yeah.
I won the silver. He goes, "We don't need you to box for England. We got David Price.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do is call Frank Warren. You turn over pro. We're not gonna take you to the Olympics." What does that mean? Negative, isn't it? It's like hating. It's like they know.
Oh, shut up, Derek. That's just a choice.
That's
not just somebody choosing one over you.
See, that's what I'm trying to explain to you. But it's not a choice. Yeah, you don't make a guy. Yeah, I box. Yeah, let me explain something to you so you understand. Yeah.
Yep.
That same year, I asked my trainer, "What's the thing I should win in the amateurs?" Goes, you have to win the junior ABAs, senior ABAs, and that's it. I win that in the first year. And I won all that in the first year.
Yeah.
And then England called you to go box for England. I'm like, oh, wow. This is every amateur's dream to box for England, to have that jersey with the 3 lions on it. I'm like, yes, I got it, yeah. And then they're like, oh, you're training for the football. We wake up in the morning, we go to Dublin, yeah. Amir Khan, the same year, just won the silver medal, yeah. I get called in the room, so I'm expecting like, oh, well done, Derek. You know, we're gonna try and get you. They're like, oh, we don't need you.
Why would they say that to you?
I don't know. I haven't done anything wrong. You know, there's 2 fighters, heavyweight fighters. So fight for the spot. What can they say? You know what? You've been in here, you fight Davy Price, winner goes to Olympics. They didn't do that. They already made their mind up.
Right.
Yeah. So from that day, this made me realize, you know what? To survive in this game, you have to come up with your own narrative and then push on to the way you want to do it.
That's life though, isn't it?
Yeah. No, it's for some people it is. For some people
So are you saying then by association that you've had a career potentially from the cradle to the metaphoric grave of not being given the credit you deserve?
I don't need credit. My credit is in myself. Like, I give myself credit and say, you know what? Well done for what you're doing. Because right now, nobody else is going to give me credit. I don't need people to call me and say, oh, well done. You know, because at the same time, when they call you and say, well done, there's probably hatred in that, the evil eye in that, to be honest. You know, everybody comes to your wedding.
But that's a strange perspective. Derek,
yeah, but because why I'm different from everybody else.
There's nothing wrong with being different.
Yeah, this is why I'm different from everybody else. Everybody else got their own.
But it sounds like you're paranoid. Because I think if you look at the way that you're received in this country, in terms of...
No.
People love you now.
Let me explain.
When you're a national treasure, I think you should be buried.
Let me explain something to you. You're the builders, the plumbers, the painters, the everyday men work. Guys who work for every day, hard grinding. Those are the guys who love me. But guys who wear suits like yourself don't love me.
But that's not true.
That is true.
But it's not true.
Do you love me?
Do I respect you? Yeah. Do I think you're a very decent bloke? Yeah.
But you're missing the point. I didn't say, do you respect me? I said, do you love me?
No, I don't love you. Do you love me?
I love you, Simon.
That'd be ridiculous.
No, I'm serious.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You just turned around and said, I'm negative. You can't love negative people,
because I love you because you drive me more. And you drive me a lot.
Okay, we've got a good spiritual background then. Yeah. But going to your achievements, and going to your, you've obviously, you start in boxing, you start late at 23, yes?
Yeah.
You start with Frank Warren. How'd you get hooked up with Frank Warren? How'd you get hooked up with him? Because you had Don Charles as your trainer, right? And someone, I think Dean Powell was with you as well.
Oh man, don't even remember.
Well, I knew Dean, and that was a tragedy, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, like, Dean Powell, it was so funny because I was turning over pro, and I turned over pro with Dean. We met in Soho in some Italian restaurant with a reporter from, I think it used to be Daily Star, I forgot his name anyway. We sit down, and I remember the words he said to me. It's hard to sell you,
Because you've got a victim's complex.
No. Because you're paranoid. Because you're African.
Really?
Yeah. And then we sat there, and he's dry, and he goes, I got it. We're going to put you in Union Jack. We're going to bring you out in Only Fools and Horses, and we're going to call you Del Boy.
Right.
I was like, what's Del Boy? He goes, go home and watch this series. I'm like, okay, cool. I went home, watched. Mate, fell in love with Del Boy. That was it. Only Fools and Horses, first fight coming out, Wembley, no income tax, no VAT. Came out to that, and that was it.
So, was that, from your point of view, was that a conscious decision to sort of ingratiate yourself to a British culture? Did you see the commercial benefits of that? Was that you going, oh, I get that, people can relate to me?
I get that because at the same time I had guys who turned over pro with me, like a couple of Nigerian boys, and they didn't survive in the game because they didn't have gels. Because you have to understand, when I do certain things, I look at like the market. For me, the market for me is my own African people and my own black background. They don't spend money to go buy ringsides or seats to go watch a boxing fight. So my point was to gel with my local white brothers the pub guys, the builders,
Right.
the everyday man. That was my point. So for me to gel with them, what do I have to do? Was to be around them.
Right.
Do you understand? You put bums on seats, you make money. That was the whole point. So this is what I was trying to figure out in my own head at the same time.
What was your ambition, Derek, when you went into boxing? And you've gone into it now. You've signed with Frank Warren. You've had an amateur career. You're going into a professional situation. And was it for you? Was boxing something that did you want to be a world champion? Was that your ambition?
God honest truth, no.
No. Because I got this quote about your first experiences in boxing, because I think there's a lot more to you than people see. I think that people don't really know the real Derek Chisora.
Because I don't want them to know.
No, that's fine, and I understand that why, and I understand that. I'm not criticising you by saying. I think there's a lot more to you, a lot more substance. I know things about you in terms of the things you've done for other people that people wouldn't associate with you. I know that you're a very decent bloke, but there's an image of you being a hard guy. There's also this backdrop of when you first went into boxing that you didn't like it very much, and you got a punch in the face, you didn't fancy it.
Oh yeah.
How does that translate into actually deciding that's a career? And given the career that you've had and the manner in which you operate, how'd you get from not fancying it to some of the battles that you've been in?
I remember the day as well. It was the first time I laced up gloves, yeah, and I was in the ring doing, you know when you start boxing, they tell you jab and you have to power it and move away. So I was training with a guy called John Paul. I remember. I think if I have to remember, John Paul, he died in prison. He was trying to burn the prison down. He was a big guy.
Right.
And so we're in the ring, and then we took the stance, and he went boom right on the sweet spot right here between my nose, my lip, everything. Yeah, mate. Came out of the ring, man. Took my gloves off. Like, nah, forget this. Yeah, I'm going home. And then John King goes, no, this is boxing. I'm like, but I was not ready. He goes, you have to be ready every time you're in the ring. And then from then, that was it. So it's like, and then I was like, you know what? That's it. Never look back.
So you go in, you're pro, you're doing well. You just said, there's no judgment in this, by the way, Derek, that you didn't want to be. It wasn't. You'd be a world champion if you could, but that wasn't your motivation. So, what was your motivation?
I don't know. I still got motivation right now.
Paychecks?
Comes with the job, but you know what? I enjoy it, man. You know, to be honest, I love it. You know, it's because when it's all said and done, I don't have regrets. You know, I enjoy it. I love it. I can't stop. You know, I train every day, Monday to Saturday. I enjoy hanging out with my wife and kids.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy hanging out with my friends. You know, I enjoy everything I do, you know.
So you're not bothered about being a world champion. You don't know what your motivation is in terms of, you know, it's not necessarily paychecks. It's because it's a way of life and you enjoy doing it. You get to your 12th fight. You beat Danny Williams, and Danny Williams has come off the back of a victory against Mike Tyson in and around that sort of time, so his currency is quite high.
Yeah.
And you've got Frank Warren talking about your potential, and he's talking about your talent. I'm very excited about Derek. He's got a load of talent, great self-belief, and if he can stay focused and channel it, I think he can go all the way. What does he mean? What do you think he means?
I was not focused because I had other things I was doing.
Right.
Understand? And at the same time, I was burning candles on both sides. Do you understand? So I think that's the only belt meant a lot to me,
Right.
Because there was no bias. There's no anything. You know, there's more integrity winning that belt than winning other belts.
What do you mean by that?
For instance, if you're mandatory for a title, for world title,
You should get your shot.
You should get your shot straight away.
Yeah.
But you don't. There's another 2-3 years to wait.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, it depends. You know, if boxing is a business. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't be an African world heavyweight champion because at the end of the day, you can't sell tickets for the federation to make money. Do you understand?
Why do you keep saying that?
Because
The best heavyweights have been the best fighters in history have been black fighters. You know, we're talking.
And how did they get to the top?
By being the best.
Yeah, being the best, and then, but you know, there's better African fighters, but they can't get to the top.
Okay.
Okay.
Anthony
Well,
Joshua is Nigerian.
Anthony Joshua, he's British. He was born in the United Kingdom. He didn't come here like myself. Yeah, he's born here.
Right.
Yeah. So when he went to Olympics, as British. He didn't go as
Sure.
Nigerian. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay. So
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say to you, there's African fighters who are good enough to amazing,
All right,
but they don't get the
like
opportunity.
Azuma Nelson then. So what held him back then?
Huh?
Azuma Nelson was an African world champion. What held him back?
I don't even know who Azuma Nelson is.
You don't know who Azuma Nelson
No,
is?
I'm joking.
Oh, right, I was going to say. So what's your argument there then?
No, one. What's the other one?
Well, if I want to pull a few more out of my
No,
arse and think about it, I
but
probably can.
as we speaking right now, right now as we talk right now, there's
Yeah.
so many African fighters, but they don't get the opportunity. That's what I'm trying to explain to you, man. I'm not trying to say anything bad. It's like everybody should get the same opportunity
I
as the
agree.
people in Europe and the people in America, but
I agree.
African fighters don't get them same opportunities. Do you understand?
But that's because of the structure of the environments that they're fighting in, isn't it? I mean, are you suggesting that if an African? I'm just curious. I'm not arguing with you. I'm just curious to
Yeah.
your thinking, right? Are you suggesting that if an African fighter came over to this country and was a talent and then was promoted by XYZ promoter and had the XYZ trainers, that somehow there'd be some conspiracy theory to stop him from being a champion of a particular division?
No, I'm not saying. I'm just saying there's fighters out there who've won everything in Africa, but they can't across the pond to fight for the world titles.
Okay, like who?
Hmm?
Like who?
I can't mention by name. I don't know them by name, but I
Okay.
see them.
By the way, Dillian Whyte, as an aside, do you feel any resentment, given the circumstances that he's found himself in, and not for the first time, that he could have been in a position where he was artificially advanced in fights with you, that stopped you from having opportunities that you might have got if you'd have beaten him?
Was he on drugs when he boxed me?
That's my question. No, I don't know if you can answer that, but you've got strong views on that area. So does it make you think that, hang on, the
Do you know
Oscar,
what?
the
Do you know
Oscar
what?
Rivas,
I'm not in the position right now to trying to kick a man while he's down.
that's not what I'm asking you to do.
No, but it's like because I don't have a 10% to talk about it. And me, it's either I talk shit about you or I don't. And right now I just feel bad for him because he lost a massive big payday.
Right. So how does that correlate with your view then that people should be banned for 10 years and effectively out of the sport if they take performance enhancing drugs? My only question is not for you to kick Dillian Whyte when he's down. Did it ever occur to you? Let me rephrase it then. Has it ever occurred to you that you lost opportunities by potentially a fighter? That twice we've had this conversation about Dillian Whyte. We had it after Oscar Rivas when he was brought in front of the British Boxing Board of Control, and the argument is that he got away with one there. And you've now got the situation with the AJ fight. Has it ever played into your psyche that maybe he was in that situation with me, and maybe as a result of that, I lost fights that might have gotten me world title shots and got me big dough?
I know. But
If the answer's no, it's no.
But you see, the thing is, I don't know because I don't do the testing. You understand? I don't do the testing. I'm not part of the British Board of Control that people decide what rules are made. Do you understand?
No.
But I can put on the rule, say, you know what? If you take drugs to fight another man's son, you should get 10-year ban.
Yeah.
In football they got it. Bogbotter's got banned for 4 years. Why can't it be in boxing? Why in boxing we have to prolong it of like on this and this, on this and this? But when it's really truly a problem, they're like, oh, we didn't like that misconduct of the game, so we're gonna find you. But when it's the real deal now, it's take 6 months off. 6 months off is by the time you announce your next fight.
No, I'm with you.
Forget about it. You know what?
10 years is your career gone, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, wow. Oh no, wait for the B sample. People don't get it. When the drug tests come to your house, yeah, they knock on your door. The moment you answer your door, they're not letting you out of sight.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to go take a piss? You go in the toilet with the guy. You bring out your johns. You put it in a pot, and he's looking. Don't think he's not looking. He is actually looking where he's like this. Yeah, checking you out. Yeah. And then okay, and you put it there, and you put it there. You close the cup, and then you wash your hands. You bring it back to wherever you're doing your tests in the kitchen sometimes, and then it's okay. Pick a box. You pick a box. So in that box is A and B. So when people say I wait for the B sample to come out, what's in A is going to be in B because it's the same urine for the same time.
Absolutely right. Absolutely.
So I don't.
How many times have you had a drug official visit your house?
Oh, mate, they've come so many times. You know the worst thing for me is I tell you the one day, Kiss the band is the last gig they're playing. Yeah.
Gene Simmons.
Oh my goodness. And I was still with Frank, and Frank got me tickets, ring, like backstage, everything. I'm pumped up, I get dressed up. I go even paint my face half white and all that shit. I'm all geared up.
Hanging your tongue out.
Yeah, I'm all geared up. I get in my car. I just finished taking a shower and a shit. Yeah, so I'm all cleared up. Yeah.
Bit more information than I needed.
Oh, Jesus Christ! As I get in my car, I'm about to start my car. I hear. I'm like, this can't be police. So I'm like, yeah, what's up? Because drug test. Drug test for what?
For going to see Kiss in concert.
Drug test. Oh, we need to drug test you. Doping. I'm like, it was not Vitali. What's the other one called? I forgot the name of the other testing company.
UCAD?
UCAD, yeah. I'm like, are you kidding me? I just finished being in the shower and everything. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'll do this quickly anyway, yeah. So I get in the house, I take Evian bottle. Do you know what time I went to the toilet? This was at 6 o'clock. Bloody 1 o'clock, fella. I was pissed.
You missed Kiss.
I missed Kiss. You don't understand. I was fuming, mate. And then so I get tested every time, and they come early morning now because I always tell them I want to be tested early morning. Because my blood is just like before my, when you have that morning piss, that's when I want to get tested.
Good to know.
Yeah, because if I miss that morning piss, that means they'll be testing me at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay.
Can't be asked.
So if I'm ever going into the UK testing business, I'll knock on your door early in the morning.
Yeah, morning piss is
Good
the best
enough.
one.
So going back to this observation, this grotesquely unfair observation that you've made about people like me, and the negativity, and it stems.
Hold on. Can I ask you a question? Are you not a negative person?
No, I'm positive, mate.
Oh.
I believe in.
So why do you have arguments with Frank Smith?
Because I don't like bullshit, and I don't take bullshit from anybody, and I'm not frightened of anybody, and I'm not frightened, and I call people out for what they are. So let me go back to the point I was going to make, and then you can turn around and tell me why I'm wrong or right. Right. So your initial perception of the observations I made on you was me telling you how wonderful the first two fights were against Dillian Whyte, and how impressive you'd been, and what a warrior you were, and what a barnstorming fight they were. And then I had the audacity to put a critical observation in there, which is I don't really want to see it again. But hold on, I haven't finished yet. I don't want to see it again. So you then get your knickers in a twist and turn around and say to me that I'm being negative, and you ask me a question. I say to you, well, I want to see world level fights. And you say, what's world level? And I say, the level that beats you every time you step up to it. And since that point, we get on fine, you and I. But since that point, you've always got this perception that I'm negative. And a lot of boxers have got this perception. Josh Taylor's got the hump. Tyson Fury's got the hump. Because as long as you're praising, as long as I'm praising and saying, it's a brilliant fight, Derek, you're a warrior, you're barnstorming fights, you're absolute credit to yourself. Josh Taylor, brilliant, but he lost to Jack Catterall. Tyson Fury, fantastic, best fighter of a generation, best heavyweight. But by the way, not fighting Usyk's not good enough. All of a sudden, you start crying, and this thin skin thing comes out about negativity and about criticism. And I'm saying, well, which part of these comments that I'm making are unfair?
But you have to understand, you say something, on radio, and then you got about 3-4 million people listening to you. At the same time, we cannot respond to your questions because we want to defend ourselves. So it's better if you're going to say something, I want to get you on the phone. I want to say something bad or negative about you, yeah? So we're going to put you online. Hey, so I'll go to so-and-so. We don't really want you to fight this guy. But and then he can respond at the same time you're saying that. But
I said it to you.
No. But you say something.
To you.
You didn't say it to me. You said it on TV first or on radio.
No, I didn't. I said it directly to you, Derek.
Oh, my goodness. No, you did not do it
directly to you.
No, you did not. You said it on radio. This is why me and you didn't really get along, because you said it behind my back.
Never did. And I didn't. I said it directly in a conversation with you, and if you want me to, I can prove it. I said it specifically to you. I can produce you the audio. We'll do it after the show. But I can categorically, and you know it.
Yeah,
and
that was the second time.
No. The second time we did it in the studio.
No.
You told me, you won't do that to my face. I said, well, come in the studio. And in the studio you came because I got hold of Jason Schifrin. asked you to come in, and in you came, and you said, it's all well and good you saying it down the phone to me, you won't say it to my face. So I said, I've just said it to your face.
Actually, no, you
but
did.
Was it unfair?
No.
Was it unfair? And my point is you're not alone in this. Why is anybody that's not a boxer, I can't do what you do. I haven't got the bollocks to do what you do. Right?
No,
but I can have an opinion on it, can't I?
No, you're allowed your opinion, but at the same time,
why do you not complain every time someone deals with...
You're missing the point. Yeah, you allow your opinion, but give the other person as well time to respond.
I did.
This is the same way Tyson didn't want you to come to Saudi.
I didn't want to go.
Yeah.
I can assure you, the last place I wanted to go was watch that pantomime of a fight.
No,
and as far as I'm concerned,
but you're missing the point. End of the day, it's called entertainment.
I agree with that.
Yeah, end of the
but
day,
you're missing my point. I'm trying to understand why you fighters, because you're men, you're proper men, and I've been in sport where I've not seen the character that you guys have. Yet the moment you're criticised, I don't understand it.
You know, it's okay if you want to criticize. Criticize, great, but don't put it in a tone that I'm a 3-year-old. I should bow down to, and everybody listens to you, and it's like, you know what? Maybe it's right. Because at the end of the day, when you say, oh, I don't want to see the third fight with Dillian, you are messing up with my money now.
And that's the point of it.
Yeah. You are messing up
and you told me that.
Yeah, you are messing up with my money. Yeah. You're actually
And you told me that.
Yeah, you
told me on air.
Yeah, you're killing my money because I'm trying to promote a fight here. And you're like, oh, I wouldn't want to watch that. So instead of me sell 18,000 tickets, now I'm going to sell 7,000 tickets because of your words. No. So this is but I'm just,
love you, Derek. We're
just having a conversation. So it's just a point of like, your words sometimes are bad, for business, for other fighters. Do you understand? Yes, you mean great by saying, oh, we want to do this, and why are you fighting that fight? You know, when Tyson said he was fighting that fight, I was happy for him.
But the only thing I'm trying to establish with you is that it surprises me and disappoints me. I understand what you're saying because you said to me, if you say shit about me and my fights, what it does is it depreciates, potentially, the more the media slag off the fight, the less there's an interest in it. And I got it. But it doesn't mean that the observation wasn't fair comment. It's not my job to sell your tickets. It's if someone asks me opinion, do you want to see Derek Chisora fight Dillian Whyte? And I go, no, because I don't think it's a great fight. That's the end of the conversation.
No. End the conversation and be like, no. And that's it. You don't have to say it by anything else. Just say no. Are you going to go to the fight? No, I'm going to take my wife out for dinner. Great. Now there's no problem there, is there? But when you say, no, I want to watch that, I don't want to see that, now you're putting more negative on the fight.
Okay. So what I'll do is I'll get a script from boxers of what I'm allowed to say.
No. Don't get a script. Listen, you're your own man. Say what you want to say. I don't really care, but don't say anything about my fights from now on.
So we'll agree that you're all thin-skinned.
No, I'm cool, but you have something to say. You're killing our business. We don't kill your business. You
do. You ban us. No? You won't come on air and go, I tell you what.
But you know what? You're not banned from my shows. I love you to come to my shows. I love you guys to come to my shows. I'm cool with you guys. I love everybody.
Of course.
Yeah.
Because it's good value.
Because if I didn't love you, you would know. I know where you live as well.
Oh, that's another thing I heard about that. You know where I live. Yeah, you can bring me some Five Guys around, can't you?
Yeah, you know one day I'll knock for you and say, let's have Five Guys.
Thank you. I heard that little veiled threat with you and your little mate Eddie Hearn. I heard that. Talk to me about your career. Talk to me about the fights that you've had, the places that you've been in. Because whatever I may or may not think about your career, and it's unarguable. Now, when you've rebranded yourself from Del Boy to War, it's unarguable that you bring it, and no one can debate it. Right? Not even me in my most negative of moments. Of the two Klitschkos, which do you think was better? Because I think Vitali was the better of the two Klitschkos.
The older brother's better.
Vitali?
Yeah.
The one you fought?
Yeah.
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 Tell me about those fights. Because these, I mean, whatever I may or may not say, I'm in your camp, mate. I'm on your side. You may not believe it, but I am.
No. Those fights were great.
Well, yeah.
I was young.
You go into them, think you could win them.
Yeah, I was young. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed them. I love every fight I've ever had, from the first guy I boxed, to the guy I lost box. I love all the fights.
What do you love about it?
Huh?
What is it you love about it?
Because if you look at my career, it's more like when I walk out, it was more like, yay. The yays went to boo, yeah. Now they sing my name now, so it's okay.
Why do you think that is?
Because people understand now. Like, I'm not here to take people's money and trying to pretend and try and play a game. But they know if they come to my show,
they're going to see something.
They're going to see a fight. Yeah. You understand?
And we all know that.
Yeah.
We all see that.
And you all know it now. Before, you didn't know that, but I kept on trying to tell you guys. But you know what? I'm grateful for everything I achieved.
No,
in
but
boxing.
people have known that for years, and you're not. And again, I don't want to dwell on this point, but everyone knew it anyway. When I'm talking about not wanting to see you fight White again, it's not because you haven't got balls and it's not going to be a fight. It's because it didn't interest me. It doesn't mean I didn't appreciate you. Because
That's why some people like blondes and some people like brunettes.
absolutely,
Yeah, exactly.
and it's called freedom of opinion, right?
Yeah.
Good. So when you fight the Klitschkos of the world and you're fighting for these titles, no one can relate to fighting for a heavyweight championship of the world in this room, right? No one knows what that feels like. You've done it on a number of occasions. And when I say in big fights, I know every time you get in a ring, it's a big fight because people like me could only even dream of having the courage of that stuff, of what you have. But you fought for world titles. So what's that like going in? The build-up, the opposition that you're fighting, your belief system, you think you're going to win? Tell us, because we don't know.
I don't know. It's hard. I can't explain it. It's.
Did you want to win these world titles? I mean, obviously, it sounds like a bit of a stupid question because if you're in a fight,
Everybody
you
wants to
win.
win.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to win. It's when my hunger of winning, I lost it after, and I'll tell you the ground truth. After I fought Robert Elenius in Helsinki, I battered him for 12 rounds.
And they give you a bad decision.
They gave me a bad decision.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the same time, when they gave me the bad decision, I saw Nisa Carlin and his dad, embarrassed. They were embarrassed, but at the same time, they were happy that the fighter got the victory, and nobody fought for my corner, to Frank Warren, to the guy who was managing. Nobody fought my corner. So the hunger for me at that time, I just realized where I was in the packing order because of my color. This is God honest truth now. I'm telling you now, yeah, because of my color. Because nobody will fight on my corner. Do you understand? I won the fight. There's nothing about it, anything like that, yeah. And then suddenly I'm at home. Oh, Klitschko said you wanted to fight, so he wants to give you a shot to the title. I'm like,
but you seem to be very entrenched in a position. I don't know if you're saying this is racism, but it feels to me, as a white man to a black man, that you seem to be saying that a lot of the opportunities in life are denied and some of the circumstances that you specifically experienced.
Tell me what you call this, yeah? I boxed in Helsinki, yeah? I beat the guy badly, yeah, because they say he's going to knock me out. I beat him up badly, yeah? They give it to him. What do you call that?
A bad decision.
A bad decision. And why do you have to say a bad decision?
All right, what do you say to Jack Catterall when he goes to Scotland and beats up Josh Taylor? What do you say to Ricky Hatton who goes to fight Floyd Mayweather and Joe Cortez doesn't allow him to fight for eight or 9 rounds, keep stopping Ricky Hatton from fighting? Was that some form of bias?
The same situation with Daniel Dubois in Poland. Yeah? The same situation with Daniel Dubois. The shot was great. Usyk was down.
But
no. You know what?
I agree with you. I'm in your camp. I thought it was a decent. I thought it was a fair shot.
No.
But do you not think that's got nothing to do with colour? That's to do with the fact.
Oh, mate.
Hold on.
Listen.
Okay. Well, let me give you an alternate thought then. Right? How about the fact the room's full of thousands and thousands and thousands of Ukrainians that are supporting their champion, and maybe the referee got influenced by that. Nothing to do with the fact that Daniel Dubois was.
Do you want to hear the funniest thing is? Yeah.
Tell me.
That's the same referee AJ used with Usyk for the first fight, and AJ hit the same shot, and the ref said he's a low blow.
Yeah, I know. There's so many inconsistencies.
Yeah. No. But what I'm trying to say to you is, it's there. Maybe you choose not to see it, but I choose to see it.
Okay, that's fine. I'm exploring it. I'm not judging it. But what about you and your character? Because it's an interesting one. Because you're very, very calm and very sedate. And most of the time, times I've seen you, and we have a bit of banter, and you tell me off or not pay your bets or whatever, right? We have a debate and things. But there's this side of you that bites off the ear of Paul Butlin, or slaps Vitali Klitschko around the face before a fight, or picks up a table and throws it across the room, or loses their shit with Dillian Whyte and starts going on about a donkey, and stuff of that nature. That side of things, what's that about? I
want to be the most hated person in boxing.
Well, then you failed because you're not.
No. I didn't fail. It did work to my advantage because I was the most hated person. Now they used to boo me, when they booed me. The turnaround, they were booing me badly, boo. And the only time we turned around, if you remember, was I walked to the Manchester Arena. When I came out, they were booing. Yeah, playing Hotel California, they booed me so hard. Yeah, and I loved that. I enjoyed that. I loved it.
You thrived on it.
I thrived on it. Yeah. And then when
So
I
it's
left,
pantomime.
when I left, what did I do? Oh, Derek Chisora.
Right.
I'm like, I got ya. I gotcha. You know. So end of the day, yeah, it's like I wanted to be hated. If they love you when you start, by the end of your career, they might hate you. But when they hate you when you start, by the end of your career, they're gonna love you.
Depends what you do, doesn't it?
Yeah, it depends. You know, it depends. But there's fighters out there who are loved by from the moment they start to the end. Yeah, and there's fighters out there right now are hated. You know, but it is what it is.
So, all right, in some paradox, does that mean that you wanted to be loved in the end?
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah.
You little teddy bear, you did.
I want.
Right.
No, and it don't matter. Any grown man or thug in this world needs love.
True.
Yeah, it don't matter who you are, how strong you are. You just need that little bit of love, that touch of love, and you're good.
And Adam Booth spoke about you because we did one of these with Adam, and I like Adam. And he talked about the incident that happened with you and David Haye, and you and getting into a fight, and somehow he got hit in the face with a tripod, and the next thing he sees is you coming around the corner with a handkerchief to make sure that he's okay. Do you look back on those things, or is it all part of your master plan?
No, I was a bit worried about Adam. You know, that day was murders, bro. It was crazy that day. You know, I was worried about him because everything went so fast. Yeah, and then.
Did you dislike David?
No, I was sitting on the podium. I lost the world title fight.
Yeah.
And I was wondering when's my next paycheck gonna come from. And I saw David. I was like, that's my next paycheck right there. And then we lost it from then.
No thought process. I don't think you should. I'm just curious because I don't know the answer.
Thought process of what?
Was that the right way to behave?
You put two guys in the room, yeah.
Now you went to a press conference.
No, but it don't matter. We are fighters. Yeah. You know, we are fighters. We don't fight in the ring. We fight every day of our lives. You understand? We're fighters. This is what we know. You know, we don't go out and say, oh, hey, how are you? Oh, would you like to fight me? Oh, yes. No. We ask, you want to fight me with violence?
Yep.
Yeah, this is what it's about. It's insults, you know? And then I saw that. I was like, you know what? This is the next paycheck. But it went the wrong script because I ended up being arrested in Germany in a bad way. So I was like,
losing your license.
Yeah. And I lost my license. Mm-hmm. You know, this is why I say Frank is amazing.
Yeah.
You know, and then that when that happened in Germany, boy, Jesus Christ, it was just murders, boy. It was just crazy.
You've developed this real popularity with the British public, and is it simply because they know? Is it as simple as you described yourself, that it's because when I go into a fight, irrespective of the outcome, they're gonna see something. They're gonna see honesty. They're gonna see me having a go, and they're gonna see a proper war, to coin your moniker.
Yeah, have a go. You know. The only way I can describe this so people can understand, maybe you might not like the way I'm gonna phrase it, yeah. It's like if I go into a fight and I get knocked out, yeah, I'm more happier than me losing on points.
It doesn't happen very often, does it?
Yeah, I'm more happier. But if I go into a fight and I lose a fight on points, it depresses me at least for 2 months. Because you start looking on the table, I could have done this, I could have done this, I could have done this.
You get knocked out, you got no choice.
If I get knocked out in round 8, I'm like, oh well.
But wouldn't you beat yourself up for getting knocked out more by going, I put myself in a way of getting knocked out?
No. Because the punch which knocks you out
you don't see.
Is the punch you don't see because your brain is not registering it.
Yeah.
But the punches which don't knock you out, you get to see them, you know, your brain's like, okay, it's going to hit you now, and you ride it. But when I got knocked out by Dillian, it's a punch I did not see at all. Do you understand? Because I was moving this way, and then suddenly I came in, left hook, boom, I was checking my left hook, he was checking his, you know. And I got knocked out, and I woke up in the dressing room, and I'm like, what happened? You got knocked out. I'm like, oh, did I? Oh, well, on to the next one. They're like, what? I'm like, yeah. Done. I'm not gonna sit down and cry over spilled milk.
Do you worry? I mean, I know people made this observation about you, and you push back on it and say they worry about you because you've been in these wars and these battles. And here's where I'm positive towards you, because I say it's his choice. He's getting paid now. He's earned the right to get big checks. And so if he wants to fight and he wants to put himself in the way of situations, that's his choice. He's a big boy. Does it? You've got kids. Does it worry you? Because, I mean, you go into proper wars, Derek.
No, it don't worry me.
Why?
Because you don't understand. The same reason all of you guys wake up in the morning to come here and do what you do is because the bills have to be paid.
But you've made lots of money now.
It don't matter. Money comes and goes. Yeah, bills have to be paid. End of the day, even on your deathbed, you be paying bills. You know, nothing is for free in this world. You know, bills have to be paid.
Isn't health wealth?
Huh?
Isn't health wealth?
If you're healthy and you got millions in your account, you're happy. You got someone wiping your ass for you. But now if you're not healthy and you don't have any money in your account, you wipe your own ass.
If you're unhealthy, I'm just curious.
Yeah, but
if you're unhealthy, you can have all the money in the world.
Do I sound like I'm unhealthy right now?
No.
Exactly. So what's the problem?
It doesn't worry you.
It don't worry me
No.
because I saw breastfeeding when I was 5 years old, my friend. So I've got my mother's genes in me, and I'm strong as an ox, my friend. I'm
breastfeeding at 5?
Yeah.
Started at 5?
I stopped.
Stopped. Okay.
Yeah.
That was a bit concerning for me.
No, don't worry about that, mate.
When you look at the heavyweight division now, what do you think of the state of it?
It's the way it is, man. You know, you got 3 TV channels, you got 3 promoters, you got different stables of fighters. So that fighter cannot fight this fighter because he fights on this channel. Do you understand? What's the money gonna be like?
What did you make of Fury and Ngannou?
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. It was okay. Enjoyed it. It's entertainment.
See, I agree it's entertainment, but I'm talking about the WBC heavyweight champion of the world, someone that you fought 3 times, right? Who's perceived to be, and I'm interested to see what your view on it, whether this is true or not, the generational great heavyweight, goes in against an MMA fighter that hasn't fought for 2 years, that's had a knee rebuild, that's making his debut, and gets knocked on his ass, and gets made.
See, this is what I'm trying to say to you. It's the way you put stuff which
it's knocked on his bottom.
Yeah, it's the way you put stuff. This is why he's upset with you.
I couldn't care less why he's upset
but
with
it's
me.
the way you put stuff in, like, go knock down on his ass.
But he did.
Why would you put it like that? It's just what I'm trying to say. You take the piss.
He got knocked down on his bottom.
Because he's not here to defend himself, so I have to defend him.
Because he won't come and talk to me about it because he's not brave enough to do it.
Because you know you're
What?
I'm trying to say you're a douchebag. He knows that. But, you know, sometimes you just... Yeah, it's why you putting it like that. Why can't you just say you got knocked down? No, but why can't you just say you got knocked down?
I get to say something. You get to call me a douchebag. No, and I've got to get on with that.
This is why I'm trying to explain to you. Okay.
All right, then let's rephrase it then. All right. So the question is more important than the framing of it, right? Tyson Fury fights a MMA fighter that hasn't fought for 2 years. Is making his debut. That's had a knee rebuild and knocks him down.
Yes.
Is that better?
Yes, that's better.
Okay, fine. Right. So we're worried about words rather than the actual substance of the question. But when you look at that, what do you think to that? Because I think, am I allowed to say, I think that's quite embarrassing?
No, it's not. I don't get it. Why? It's not embarrassing. You're fighting. Listen, in Ngannou, yeah, you have to understand, yeah, how people work. Yeah, the guy came on a boat to France. Yeah, from on a boat to France. Yeah, got there, started training. Yeah, did some labor work. Yeah.
Yeah, I know his backstory.
And yeah, exactly. Yeah, So when I was on ringside before Tyson walked out, yeah, I gave my prediction. Yeah, I say Tyson's gonna knock down in rather 1 or 2 or 3, and then after that he's gonna win the fight. And
is that what you said?
Yeah, this is what I said. And everybody looked at me like, "Is he talking crap?" And I'm like, and everybody around me, even Tyson's friends and family were there, and they looked at me like they're gonna beat me up. Like, you can't say he's gonna get knocked down. And what happened? Gets knocked down, and what happens? He wins the fight. Yeah.
Do you think it did the heavy? Because I have to be careful how I say things because you get sensitive about it, right? I think Tyson Fury is generationally the best heavyweight in this country. I think that Tyson Fury opened up the division by beating Klitschko in 2015 for the Anthony Joshuas to prosper on the back of the fact the belts were scattered alongside Anthony Joshua's.
And then what did they do to him?
Who?
No,
They banned him. Oh no, what did they do to him?
What did they do to him? What did they do to him? He's won the titles, yeah. People don't talk about this. He's actually gone there, won the titles, yeah. And then suddenly, he calls on. He goes, okay, when we're defending the titles, they're like, not yet. Yeah, they mess around on the date. Yeah, the board don't get involved. Say, okay, we need to fight so we can defend the titles. Okay, can he fight this guy? No, he can't fight that guy. So he had to mandatory one of the titles, the IBF. So it's like nobody fought in his corner when he won the titles. You know,
Who are they, by the way?
No, I mean, like nobody. And when he came back, it was not on. They were not praising him.
Oh, leave off.
No, they
Derek.
were not.
Everybody admired Tyson's outcomes and the fact that he won the WBC. No one gave him a chance. His press conferences were brilliant. Turning up in a Batman outfit was fantastic theatre.
But at the same time, you know, when he was pointing to give him credit, in front of like the world, no, we did not.
I'm surprised you think that, but I guess that's your view.
We did not. That's my view.
I guess that's your view.
That's the same view he has.
And
then at the same time, even when he came back and he beat Deontay Wilder,
brilliant,
amazing,
phenomenal.
And then now he decided to say, you know what? I've done 2 defense. Can I have a little easy fight? Guess what? You guys jump on the back. Oh, we don't want to see that. You started bringing him down. No, but he's saying, hold on.
No, but that's not
Last year I gave you 2 defense, Dillian and Derek, and now can I just fight Ngannou?
Derek, if we're going to have something said, let's have the alternate side to that. Beating Deontay Wilder 3 times, not twice, 3 times, is outstanding achievement. In each one of them, he got better and better and was remarkable, right? But fighting Dillian Whyte, who was his mandatory, right, and he outclassed him, people saying that is not an issue. Fighting you,
But what's your words will you say about me now?
Well, fighting you was he told us he was going to do that. He told us that he was going to give you a nice little pension and a nice little return because you deserved it. And I didn't fancy that fight. I didn't think it was.
You never fancy anything.
Yes, I do.
No, you do.
I fancy Joshua versus Wilder.
You never
I fancy Josh Taylor versus Jack Catchell.
You never fancy anything.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
You never fancy anything.
No, I don't.
No, you don't.
Are you going to fight Ngannou?
If they, I would love to.
You'd like to fight him?
Yeah.
Right.
Love to.
Because it's lucrative.
No, because it's from Africa. I'm from Africa, so it'd be a great fight.
Do you think crossover sports are good? Do you think it's a good thing?
It's entertainment.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, if I say this, if Bruce Lee was alive right now, he would have a go in Ngannou.
Oh, come on. Bruce Lee's about 9 stone.
Yeah, but it don't matter. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. You would buy tickets to go watch that. Yes, because it's entertainment. Now we are intrigued.
Yeah, I agree that, but there's a difference between entertainment and the sport of boxing. It is entertainment. It's Disneyfication.
Yeah, but
that's the world we're in.
And we're in the world of anything goes.
Saudi, been good for boxing. Your mate Prince Khalid, your new mate Turki Al Sheikh, good for boxing.
It's good for what they want.
What they want.
They want their big heavyweight fights. They will not bring anybody who's not heavyweight. I don't think.
No.
And it's good. What can I say about Saudi? Saudi is a. They do it. You know what they do it for? They do it for the Saudis. They don't do it for themselves. They do it for the Saudis. They do it for the people. That's why it's called the kingdom. They do it for the people, and I've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
You got a smirk on your face. What's a smirk about?
Well, I spent a lot of time in the Middle East, and I have no problem with the Middle Eastern fraternity being able to advance their culture, their society. I think there's challenges with us in the West looking at their culture, and I think it's not our business. When I went over to Qatar, I was one of the voices saying, when all the footballers were saying we're not going over there because of this right, that right, and the other right, and I was like, well, it's their belief system. If you're going to change Sharia law and you're going to change their belief system, and we've got the right to do that, have we? Because we've mastered it over in the West. We've got the zeitgeist, right? We're really top drawer, we are. So I get it, but let's not have it right. The reasons why the Saudis are investing in sport is because it creates an opportunity for them to showcase themselves for a variety of other reasons, like the ability to be able to legitimize certain ways of people's perception of them and to open up industrial opportunities for themselves. They want to be a tourist hub. They don't just want to be based upon oil, that $650 billion pound PIF fund, which is the sovereign wealth fund that underpins Mohammed bin Salman's wealth in that country. Sport is being utilized for that. And there may be a benefit for the 36 million people in Saudi, of which none of them are currently watching football, that's spending hundreds of millions of pounds on footballers and footballers' wages. It's predominantly because they want to create a new impression of the Middle East and turn it into an industrial hub. And sports is being used for that a little bit, which is fine, because sports get used for a lot of things. It doesn't make it right, and it doesn't help the landscape, because unless people fight in Saudi, big heavyweights fight in Saudi, these fights aren't happening.
Then we're talking about sports in Saudi. It's amazing. It's great. I just believe that, I say this as like, after it's all said and done, yeah, are they going to still get in the big fights in Saudi though?
Yes.
Yeah.
I know. Money talks and the rest walks, right?
Yeah.
You fought Usyk. Did you show people in that fight? Some people say, and this is not me, before you get up on your high horse, that he was playing possum with you and making it look more like a more difficult fight, so that it convinced others, like AJ, I'll take this fight then, because I tell you what, if Chisora can't put him away and Chisora's made him look a certain level, it could be easier for us.
I don't know. That's.
Or did you show the way to fight him?
I think I showed everybody.
Him.
I showed everybody the blueprint, but people chose not to use the way I chose.
And what was that blueprint?
Be fit,
and use your size.
Use your size. That was it. Everybody else, I went to Asia, like, make sure you do this after you finish sparring. You do this and do this.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, you would do it. He didn't do it. I said the same thing to Daniel Dubois. You do this and do this. He didn't do it.
Yeah.
For me, because the problem, you see, the thing is with Usyk is when he starts moving his hand up and down and you start doing that with him,
you're in trouble.
You're in trouble.
Yeah.
When he moves his hand up, hit him.
Yeah.
Just hit him. I was the first guy. I knocked him down, then they give it to me. But
how good is he, do you think?
He's very good.
Is he?
He's good, man. He goes in a stride. He's amazing. He's great. He's an amazing fighter. But if you let him be amazing, he's gonna walk all over you.
Do you pick Fury to beat him?
Yeah, but if it's the same Fury with boxing gun, I don't think so.
I watched that fight. I didn't watch it in Saudi because I didn't want to go. But I watched it on a television screen because someone put it on.
Banned.
No, it's not. You can't ban me from flying into Saudi.
Mate,
if I wanted to go to that fight, I'd have gone, mate.
You were banned. I would have bet any of my dollar. You would have got to the airport, it would have put you in a room this way here, and then suddenly next morning the fight's over, put you back on a plane back to United Kingdom.
Well, I wouldn't have missed much, right? But I watched Fury go into the ring, and I watched him going against Wilder. And there's this demonic expression in his face. His eyes are dark. He's like looking across the ring at Wilder, and whatever he's saying, I'm going to knock you out, you bitch, or whatever it was, right? And there was real menace. Yet when I watched him go in the ring against Ngannou, none of that was there. It was Francis this, Francis that, Francis the other. I don't think that he was prepared for that fight mentally. Physically, I don't know, because obviously, do you think he was? Because I don't think I don't think any way that we'll see Fury like that against Usyk. Do you?
Nah, he needs to come off his diet. He's done some weird diet. When I saw him at the KSI fight and his brother's fight in Manchester, he looked so weak and not strong enough. And I said to my trainers, he looks very weak. You might know this fight might be hard for him. And at the same time, you have to understand, people, when you go to fight in Saudi, you arrive on a Monday. Yeah. On that same day you arrive, there's something else happening. We have one of the hosts who's hosting you, there's a dinner, The only time, and then on Tuesday, you're doing something else, a press conference or whatever, Yeah. And then on Wednesday, you're doing something else. So there's no time for you to sit down and rest and get rid of the jet lag. There's no time because there's
too many distractions.
There's too many distractions.
Yeah.
On the day of the fight, guess where you are? You're having dinner with a host, and then there's an auction happening. There's something going on.
Yeah.
The only thing which is not going on is when you walk to the ring or fight.
Yeah.
But every time you're there, Monday to Sunday, you're doing something. And if you don't do something, you're disrespecting the culture.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah,
so
no,
at
I
the same
understand
time, I could imagine by the time he go in the ring, he try to gear himself up. You can tell when he tried to gear himself up when he came out and he ran across the road in his shadow. He was trying to get that thing going. But I don't think he could get it going.
Mm.
And he tried in the first couple of rounds to hit him with a 1-2 and knock him out. When he realized, you know what? This is a long night. Let me just jab this guy and then win the fight.
Do you think, like I think, in my positive version, that he is the best heavyweight around and has been the best heavyweight around?
No, we cannot judge that yet until you're only the best heavyweight around
When you finished.
When you're finished.
And your body worked.
Until he fights AJ and Usyk, we cannot say that yet.
What about Anthony? You've never fought him.
No.
Any reason?
My next door neighbor.
And that means what? You fight your friends?
No, I don't. I argue with them, but I don't fight them. We borrow each other's sugar and that's it.
But Anthony would have been a good fight for you, wouldn't it? And certainly would have been a lucrative fight for you. He's the cash cow, isn't he?
Yeah, but you know what? Maybe it might happen, maybe it might not. We never know.
What do you think for him?
Boxing is like Rocky film, you understand? Rocky was winning everything. And then he boxed Mr. T, he made all money. And he stopped running at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Clubber Lane.
He just stopped running, And then I think my brother, I think he's made enough money now that the hunger is gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hunger is gone. He wants to be a 3-time world champion,
Yeah.
and I will help him to get there. But the hunger in himself, I think, is gone.
How will you help him to get there?
Huh?
How are you going to help him to get there?
Hang out with him, understand him, or how he wants to be a 3 world champion. He wants to fight for another world title.
Do you think you can do it?
Yeah, he can. He can do it.
Do you think he will do it?
He will do it because that will make him amazing, great.
Who do you think of all these fighters will leave the greatest legacy?
Don't know. I don't know.
Who do you admire? Who do you respect the most when you look around? You've been in with Fury, you've been in with Usyk, you've been in with Joseph Parker. They've all been world champions. I'm not bringing Joseph Parker into the conversation for a legacy argument, but he was a world champion. Who has the greatest legacy?
I think everybody does in their own mind, into their own fans, In the traveling community, Tyson would be like unbelievable because, Gypsy King, this and this. He went to America, came from a band. He was down in the dirt, depressed, and then he came back and he won it. In the African community, AJ, amazing gold medalist. First fight. He went
African. I thought AJ was British. When I talked about African, you said he's British.
No, African British.
When it suits your argument, right?
Yeah. He's done amazing. He's done this and MBO, whatever it's called. Yeah, and he was given by the king or the queen.
MBE.
MBE, yeah. And then you got myself and Dylan. It depends on what time the legacy depends on what time you die, and
what time you finish your career.
What time you not finish your career.
Or when you stop fighting.
Right now, yeah. Let's be honest. Ricky Hatton finished time ago. The only time we're gonna remember Ricky Hatton's legacy is when we put him 6 feet under. That's when most people are like, oh wow, man.
It's a happy little thought.
Yeah, I'm just being honest. That's how people are remembered. You don't remember when you're alive.
That's an obituary. A legacy is people remembering the body of work that you did in the time. How do you think people will remember you?
Me?
Or how do you think they'll remember you, and how would you like them to remember you?
To be honest, don't remember me, man. I don't give a fuck about you guys. Don't fucking remember me, man.
Oh, we're back to villain mode now, are we?
Yeah, don't remember me. I don't give a shit, man. My kids will remember me.
Not bothered.
I'm not
even
bothered.
though you're a national treasure.
Even though what is national treasure?
Hold on, you. Even though you.
What is national?
Even though your ultimate aim was to be loved, and now that you are, and someone asks you a question about how you'd like to remember, I don't give a shit. When we know that you do. It's nice to be thought well of, isn't it? Isn't it? I think well of you. I think most people think well of you.
You think so?
Well, who doesn't think well of you? Why wouldn't they?
I
You're a
don't
man
know.
of substance.
I don't know.
You're a crafty little operator. I watch you work around the ringside. I watch you getting in and out. I think you're a clever little sod.
No,
And I
'cause
think you're smart as paint. And I think you say what you mean and mean what you say. I think you talk in riddles sometimes as well.
I'm talking in riddles because I don't want to be saying I'm sorry to people because I got this habit of doing something and I start apologizing. So I'm just tired of saying sorry, man. It's just hard for me.
Yeah.
You know. Listen, everybody will say legacy, bro. I'm
I'm going to remember you for someone being very
6 feet
thin-skinned.
under, mate. I'm done. I'm gone. I'm taking a long dirt nap. Why? I don't need you to remember me anymore. I'm done. It's done and dusted. You know, my kids will be there. Great. Oh, Daddy was great. I remember when Daddy did.
Derek, thank you for coming. It's been very enjoyable. Before you leave and go and watch JLS, am I ever going to see that 100 quid? Are you going to pay me in dirhams or reals via your
Can I
mates?
surprise you, knock on your door and give you the money?
Yes. Yeah, you'll have to get past the concierge and the security first,
you'd be
mate,
very
before you
surprised.
think you can get
You'd
in.
be very surprised because one of my very good friends lives next door to you. So
No, they don't.
I'll go knock for my friend and I'll knock for
Go
you
on then.
too.
Go
Okay?
on then.
Shall we do it?
We should.
Yeah.
Listen, mate.
I'll do a live video. Simon,
Yes.
knock open the
Yeah,
door.
I saw your little video of your little mate Eddie Hearn. Yes, I saw that. I know where he lives. But
Yeah.
anyway, listen. Thank you for being up front with me. I've enjoyed it, mate.
Thank you very much for inviting me. So who's paying me, fellas?
Take it out of his fee. Take it out of his fee. Up Front with me, Simon Jordan, is brought to you by William Hill. Future episodes can be found on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you find your podcasts. 18 plus, please gamble responsibly.